You are listening to KBFT's Bois Forte Veterans Series, a special Veterans Day series featuring stories from the Anishinaabe men and women of the Bois Forte Reservation who served in the United States military.
My name is Bob Ibanez, otherwise known as Jerome Whiteman. I'm a Vietnam Army vet. I am 73 years old. Drafted in 1968. That's when I went in on the 4th of March. Well, actually, I was with the 101st Airborne Division. They kept looking at my mechanical aptitude. I started off as a clerk, and then I went to the line. So after I went to Vietnam, then I puttered around as a mechanic for a little bit. Then I went to the flight crew, and those are the ones that fly. Door gunner, crew chief, flight engineer. Not a pilot. I wasn't an officer, so I wasn't even close to that. The ones I served as the pilots and the crew were basically just like I was, draftees. I was in an aviation unit, being that it was I had an high aptitude for mechanical things. I went to Fort Eustis, Virginia, which is just outside Norfolk, that big Navy compound they have down there. It's all military in that whole peninsula. The main things I took away from there was the knowledge about myself as to who I am, that the world is greater than me. And it's not how you make the world fit you, it's how you fit in, where it is. We all have a place in this world. And sometimes circumstances make that decision for you, but it's how you make the best of it. Because your life is your own, and it's what you make of it. If you do better than most, fine, that's great. Because that's the goal in life, is always to improve. Yesterday's gone, we can't do anything about that. It's live today for tomorrow. The term I just does not fit in there. Or my, that does not fit in there. It's we and us, and I learned that. Well, Veterans Day to me, being that I am an old vet, I went in at one of the hardest times in our society here. What with the protests and all that. And it was pretty hard to deal with. At that time when I went in, it didn't bother me. But the more time I spent in, the more time I became aware of things. I had my opinions, political or otherwise. But then again, I was a soldier. I had a job to do. I was expected to do this. So I performed as best as I could with what I had. And I wasn't the fastest, the best, or the sharpest, or anything like that. I was just one of many. And there are a lot of guys like me. Come to mind, I went in with one of the locals here one of the guys I grew up with. We were in the same unit, basically just across the next compound he was in, but he was a casualty, as Dwayne. He was already over there. And once I found out, I got his address from his sister, his older sister, and I looked up his company, and sure enough, his company was right across the unit from mine, and in fact, the next compound. So I went over there, hoping we can get together, but he was out in the field at that time. So I went back about a week later, if that, and I found out he was a casualty. And I never did catch up with him, because after I come from, I found that out, I beat it over to the medical facility, and he was already shipped out on his way processing out to come home. So I missed out on him. I didn't see him until I got back. It must have been about a year later. He told me all about him, what happened, and where I was. And he saw that big helicopter company where I was next door to. But he had no idea where I was going there, neither did he. So that stayed with me for still with me today. And I see him from time to time, because I went in with a lot of kids from the range area, Hibbing, Virginia, the Britt area, Ely, and today I often wonder what they're doing today. We're warriors, it's our culture. On the day we were born, providers, protectors, and it's just in us. My own personal family, I had 4 daughters that went in. They all went into the Navy. My family is all Navy. I was the only bugger that, me and my son were Army. He's a combat veteran. So I have some grandsons that are highly thinking about going in, because our family is like that. And we're part of the Lynx clan. My clan is like that. It's just the way warriors are. We're bred that way, to provide, to protect, and to serve. We've been through a lot, we've seen a lot, and a lot of the things that we've seen and heard and know of, well, today we just got to live with it. And it's rather humbling for a lot of us. Some of us don't like to talk about it. I saw what I saw. If I could do it again, I would. In fact, a lot of us old vets. Some of us are impaired, but we still have something to give. But those days are gone. Some of the few things that I've done that I'm very, very proud of. And I know no one can take that away from me.
Thank you for listening to Bois Forte Veteran Series, brought to you by KBFT 89.9 FM and the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.